Okay, so in review, Kortney was working the corporate life, decided with a career coach that's not the angle she wanted, so she jumped into personal training. When she moved to Boise, she really didn't have any network or people that she knew, so she initially started out as a group instructor and then paired up with a private studio, and that really became her feed of referrals and new clients. And eventually, 6 months to a year, got enough money where she knew she was at least going to pay the bills with this effort, and then has continued to grow it. And alongside her personal training in person, especially in light of the COVID-19 stuff, she's moved to an online platform where she can also teach and help people online on their own schedules. And then also to help supplement her income, she's worked with network marketing with specific health products that she can help push and promote to her network that she already has. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate it. Hi, I'm Ryan Vasso with the Venture College, a program within the College of Innovation Design at Boise State. The Venture College helps students and community members launch their ideas beyond the classroom and turn those ideas into startups, lifestyle businesses, side hustles, and other ventures. With the COVID-19 situation, we know that more and more people in our community and throughout Idaho, beyond just students, will be looking for ways to generate extra income. That's why we've started the Side Hustle series. We will be talking to successful entrepreneurs about starting and growing side hustles that can be done from just about anywhere in the world. If you're interested in learning more or need some help, contact us at venturecollege@boisestate.edu or go to our website to learn more. Also, watch out for our social media accounts for the next installments of the Side Hustle series. Hello everyone, I'm here with Kortney Jamtaas, and she's with Reset University, and she focuses on personal training. So tell us the story. How'd you get into personal training?
Yeah, well, I was always an athlete my whole life, and after college, I kind of just went straight into the corporate desk jockey rat race, and about 10 years, I had enough. And so I actually hired a career coach to help me kind of get the guidelines and tools that I didn't have to see what I truly would love doing, and what I could make as a career of it. And we both kind of decided in those sessions that the fitness side I was on the corporate side of fitness, but the personal training side would be the path that would be best suited. And that's kind of what led me into the realm of personal training and fitness professional. And then I ended up moving to Boise at that same time. So it was all this new happening at once.
Okay, so if I'm hearing right, you figure out, okay, I want to start getting into personal training, like kind of figure out your goals and what you like. So how did you get your first clients? Like talk about what needed to get to the point where you actually started getting revenue.
Yeah, so you need a certification. So figuring out who you wanted to be trained under. I got mine from National Academy of Sports Medicine. And then when I moved here, I knew 2 people. And so you can't necessarily start a personal training business if you have no network. And that was at least in my situation. So I went and I started as a group instructor at a small studio downtown. And then I spent about a year there just getting to know how to cue, how to teach, got to know a lot of people. And about 6 months into that, I started getting individual clients to train separately. And then about a year later.
Did those come from the gym? Like the people that came to you, was it from the gym and then they wanted to work more with you?
I actually got referred to a private training studio. I feel like it's the Boise way of word of mouth and referrals. Like my friend's neighbor's personal trainer had retired. And so they knew that the studio potentially could have another trainer. And so when I interviewed with them, I'm like, well, I don't really have any clients yet. And they're like, that's okay. And so the studio actually was the main source of the referrals initially, because people would call them asking about personal training, and they would be like, hey, Kortney, this seems like a good fit. Can you contact Sally to set up a consultation? And then I would take it from there, and we would decide on, how many times a day or a week and price and all that. So
yeah, and let's dive into that. So when you're first starting out, maybe you don't feel like the complete expert yet. How'd you determine pricing?
Actually, the studio had a minimum price per session. And so I was kind of able to default to that, saying, hey, starting session rate is this. So let's start with that. And I've since raised my rates since then.
Sure.
But you basically kind of go with what the market's doing at the base level. And then in that situation, the studio, because they own the studio, and I, was using their equipment, they would take a commission from each session I trained from. So they take a commission, I'd get the rest. So it was really nice. Yeah.
Do you still go through that studio, or are you completely like separate now?
Yeah, so that's pretty much the main place I train in-person clients. It has been a very interesting time these last months since we can't train. And fortunately, I had started an online training program about a month or two before. So that's what Reset University is.
Okay.
And so I was able to offer my in-person clients to kind of train online with me while we're all stuck at home. And so it's been a little bit of a blessing to have both of those at the same time. So now I can help people that aren't just in Boise get the best health and wellness, as well as my local clients, making sure that they're still keeping up with their workouts and whatnot.
Makes sense. So just to back up, did you start that online training specifically because of the COVID-19 restrictions, or that was before?
It was this like universal serendipitous timing.
Okay, so not knowing that COVID-19 was coming, what was the original motivation? Was it like supplemental income? Was it to get more clients? So what was your thoughts of it?
Yep, it was absolutely to be able to expand my offerings, because the one kind of drawback of in-person personal training is that you are tied time for money. And you only have a certain amount of hours that you can train people, and you're kind of stuck into their schedule as well. And so you're limited based on my schedule, their schedule. Whereas when you go to an online platform, that I personally write their workouts, it's on their specific calendar. We've got direct communication. So if they're on vacation, if their kids get sick, if they get sick, if I'm on vacation, their workouts continue and the income doesn't stop. Whereas when I'm in person, it stops. If they don't get trained, or if I'm not there, then there's no money. So it was really about how to scale as far as reach of people I can help, but also adding an income source in addition to the people I see in person.
Makes a lot of sense. How did you price that?
I actually have a kind of a business mentor who helps personal trainers transition to online. And so I've been going off of his recommendations and guidelines as far as what coaching packages go for, depending on your level of service and what's required. It's kind of nice that you can tier it down based on how much of you they want.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like trainers need coaches, business people need mentors,
sure.
Regular people need coaches. And so I'm also a student as well as a coach. So it's kind of fun both ways.
That's fantastic. And then as far as like growing your audience for that online content, was that mainly referral based and working with previous or current clients, or what was the intent of expanding that?
Yeah. So right now that's kind of where I'm at is, it takes time to grow an audience, right? Sure. And so in the beginning, you may not have many eyes. And so it's a lot more direct, like me going out kind of grassroots of telling my network, hey guys, I've launched this Reset University. Let me know if you're interested in learning more, or more specifically, I need your help getting the word out. So basically asking for them to share or to have referrals. And what we're working with now is kind of how to scale it with, paid ads and kind of advancing the reach in that, because that's really how you're going to get new fresh eyes. Like all of my Facebook friends have seen what I've been doing.
Sure. Yeah, they're aware. You got to get past that initial circle.
They know. So I've started a free Facebook group that I'll put specific workouts in, and I'm kind of trying to direct people to that. So people aren't just scrolling over my Facebook feed every day. And so it's a little more in-depth training in there, just kind of a little more encouragement. And so I'm about to run kind of a referral contest in there for them to invite more people. So just figuring out ways to, and it's always trial and error.
Totally.
Something will catch on, something won't. And it's all about time and consistency as well.
Makes a lot of sense. Going back to, so it sounds like you're kind of right in the middle of that experimentation and growth mode in the online channel. Going back to like your like in-person training, I guess how long did it take you, like from group instructor time to like the point where you're like, oh my gosh, this is like officially my business. Like the point where like it didn't feel risky. It made like business sense that you were going to continue on that path. How long did that period take?
It kind of always felt risky, to be honest. There's about a 6-month overlap from when I started seeing clients personally to the group training gym. And it wasn't until I had about 5 personal training clients and like doing the math, I'm like, okay, if these guys don't quit tomorrow, I'll have enough to like pay my bills and all that stuff.
Okay.
And then it kind of just slowly grew from there. So about 6 months, and then also, always being open to other income streams as well, and knowing that personal training, you're pretty much capped as far as what you can make and how many people you can train. So figuring out different online ways to add services, offerings, whatnot. So
yeah, that makes sense. And can you speak to that? Like I know you mentioned like supplements and stuff, but what are some of the side hustles that you have tried or are still trying to supplement?
Yeah, so I've kind of leveraged the world of network marketing as far as products that I offer to either my clients or to people who aren't my clients. And the reason why I went in that path was because I didn't want something that I had to create again. I didn't want to have to deal with the logistics or the marketing or any of that sort of thing. And so for me, it was kind of like this instant business that I had access to. And all I needed to do was provide a link for and speak semi-intelligently about what the benefits were. So for me, it was just a no-brainer in that sense. And it's really, provided quite a nice, side buffer and income. And just, I can help people that aren't solely focused on my fitness, right? Sure. So it expands who I can help, and it expands like the money that I can make as well. Because if someone doesn't just want personal training, I can still provide a service or a product for them.
Makes sense. Do you rotate a lot of products, like, or is it like one product you focus on? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so it's one company that I am an ambassador for, and they have a wide-ranging product line.
Yep, so one company, multiple products.
Yep. Yeah. So basically, what's their need? And the other thing that's nice, it's a consumable product, right? So once you make that sale once, and they love it and they like the results, they're going to keep it buying again. So you kind of can build up that customer base without having to resell every time, which is another
totally makes sense
factor.
Yep, totally makes sense. And just wrapping up on more going back to the personal training side, if someone was like looking, like let's get past the COVID-19.
Yeah, right.
And someone's actually like looking to get into personal training, like any high level suggestions or pitfalls to avoid?
I'd say, be passionate about fitness. Have a strong desire to help people, and seek a mentor or someone who's done it before, because there's a lot of different ways and there's a lot of different sub niches that you can get into that can be a little overwhelming. So I'd say, check some things out before you dive in, and because it's definitely, it takes time to grow hone your skills as well. But
yeah, and on that, rewarding. Like, I've seen some entrepreneurs have the strategy of like niching down, like in a specific, like I'm an expert in this.
Yeah.
So for like personal training, A, do you find that a lot? And B, did you go with that tactic? If I'm really good at this specific thing versus just kind of like a generalist fitness trainer?
Yeah, well, I before I became a personal trainer, I worked for a fitness product company. So I was on I was on the industry side of it. So with that kind of developed my philosophy of the type of training I wanted to do. I say a lot of people end up training what they've done. So if someone's been a bodybuilder or a physique competitor, then that might be drawn to them. If someone's lost 100 pounds, they may be drawn to the weight loss kind of training. So for me, it was because the tool that I was using was pretty versatile, and I didn't want to get so sports specific. So for me, I'm training mainly people, professionals in their 40s, 50s, 60s that understand that they just want to age gracefully and with strength and try to avoid, the doctor's office, lower their blood pressure, be able to move pain-free. So mine, I just say it's like you're getting fit for life. Like we're not training for an endurance race or so.
Perfect. Okay, so in review, Kortney was working the corporate life, decided with a career coach that's not the angle she wanted, so she jumped into personal training. When she moved to Boise, she really didn't have any network or people that she knew, so she initially started out as a group instructor and then paired up with a private studio, and that really became her feed of referrals and new clients. And eventually, 6 months to a year, got enough money where she knew she was at least going to pay the bills with this effort, and then has continued to grow it. And alongside her personal training in person, especially in light of the COVID-19 stuff, she's moved to an online platform where she can also teach and help people online on their own schedules. And then also to help supplement her income, she's worked with network marketing with specific health products that she can help push and promote to her network that she already has. Thank you so much for the time.
Yeah, really awesome. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you.
Stay safe.
Thanks for listening. While you're waiting for the next episode, feel free to contact us or follow us on social media.